Ying was a broke security guard with negative aura and no hose. Then he absorbs a hot mage's power with a kiss. Now she won't stop getting freaky with him. The story begins when a sudden power outage occurs. A man working on his computer instructs his colleague to inspect the circuit. The new employee, a man with purple hair named Ying Shung Ma, has no other choice but to go and check. Meanwhile, a woman is on a rooftop preparing to witness a heavenly tribulation. Ying wonders why the other man was so rude to him on his first day. However, needing the job, he understands he must overcome his pride. Upon reaching the rooftop, he's surprised to find the door ajar. He goes onto the roof and sees a woman performing some kind of ritual. As soon as the woman sees him, she collapses. It immediately begins to rain. He rushes to the woman to see what has happened, but she is lying on the ground with her eyes closed. Unsure of what to do, and in a state of panic, he kisses the woman. As their lips touch, a bright light appears. The long-haired woman remembers she was passing the tribulation, and someone disturbed her. She sees her mother, who then disappears. She runs quickly, but her mother has vanished. She pleads with her mother not to abandon her. Soon after, Ying opens his eyes and receives a slap that makes his face turn red as an apple from the long-haired woman, leaving a mark on his face. He tries to explain and make it clear that he gave her his first kiss to save her. The woman becomes enraged as a demon upon hearing this, as he ruined her first kiss. She slaps him again and leaves, hoping to never see him again. While going downstairs, she realizes that she was careless, but is relieved that he did not see the heavenly tribulation. The cultivation world is governed by the law of the jungle. If a mortal becomes involved, they will certainly die. She sees some light coming from her hands, and her body begins to shake, causing her to worry about what is happening. She knows that even though she failed the tribulation, she wonders why her cultivation has been reduced to previous levels. She understands that at this rate, all her hard work will be wasted. She goes to find out what is wrong, while on the other hand, the man feels very warm in his bed. The next day, he is sitting alone on a bench and feels more refreshed than before, with clearer eyesight. He sees the same woman Muzi going to a man who is waiting for her with a bouquet of flowers. However, Ying remains unbothered by this and begins eating his cookies. Suddenly, the sky shakes, and a red eye appears in the sky that is excited to see the ability of the new cultivator. She ignores the man who has booked the entire movie theater for the two of them to watch a film. Although she has some interest in the movie, she still chooses to attend her class. A woman is busy on her phone when a giant billboard is about to fall on her. Ying Shung puts everything aside and runs to her to save her. Before he can reach her, he uses his powers and destroys the billboard, which saves her from being hit by it. He collapses after saving the woman. Later, he opens his eyes and finds himself on a bed with his hands tied. He sees Muzi, whom he has named a violent woman. Muzi approaches him after seeing he has awakened and tells him that she was already waiting for him. He unbuttons his shirt. Ying Shung has no idea what she is trying to do with him. He begs her to put her clothes on. Muzi sits on him and realizes that the seduction skills she learned from a movie have failed, so she gets up from him. She is planning to take back what belongs to her, however he does not remember taking anything from her. She reminds him how he saved that woman, informing him that he actually used her power to save the woman. Ying Shung has no idea what she is talking about. She reveals that she is a cultivator. He thinks that she is mentally unstable. She immediately shows him his powers and gives him two options. The first is to die under her black sky, and the second option is to cultivate with her and become immortal. Ying has never realized the night can be so beautiful. While standing at the window, Muzi tells him that what he is seeing is just the surface because most of it is full of darkness. He wonders what happens in the darkness, but she doesn't know the answer either. He suggests she focus on what she can see. He keeps looking at the view and asks her why she doesn't use her cultivation powers to help people in darkness. She takes him to the rooftop and tells him to jump if he wants the fastest route. She believes that humans typically unlock their hidden potential when they face a great threat. As long as he desires to live, he will surely awaken his power. If he fails, tomorrow's news will report his suicide. She informs him that if he doesn't awaken his powers now, he will sooner or later be forced to do so by other cultivators, so she thinks she should try this method. He believes she is taking revenge on him. He doesn't want to die, but she pushes him off the building. While falling, he tries to summon the same power he used to save that girl. However, he has no idea what he should do, feels helpless, and thinks he is truly going to die. Before he hits the ground, Muzi grabs him, believing this is their life or death moment. He immediately grabs her and uses his power to create wings. They both land safely on the ground. Holding her in his arms, he asks her if she agrees that this is beautiful. They fly in the sky, but suddenly they both fall to the ground. She grabs him by the collar, telling him that everything has a price. She informs him that the modern cultivation world is like a forest with limited resources. Cultivators are starving beasts living in this forest, and they hide in the darkness to maintain a balance so no one knows where they are. If one day someone lights a bonfire that illuminates the entire forest and brings others out of hiding, she asks him what they would do. He gives her a wrong answer. She believes he will do something even more foolish in the future. She thinks that rather than letting him continue to waste the forest's precious resources, it's better to kill him while he is still weak. She lets go of his collar, telling him that if he dares to expose himself next time, it won't be her he will face, but others. The scene shifts to an elderly-looking man who knows that a moving spirit energy has appeared. In just half a day, it reached the foundation building level. He tells Ru Yue to find the owner of that power fluctuation who caused this and test his strength. He instructs her to keep a low profile. If he is just a weakling with a low cultivation level, then he must be killed. The scene shifts to the next day when the same red-haired man man is waiting for Muzi, who has just returned. Muzi is surprised to learn that he has waited for an entire day for her. However, he thinks it's natural for a gentleman to wait for a lady to watch a movie. She laughs and tells her senior that she just came back from the hotel with Ying. The senior becomes enraged upon hearing this and cannot believe that Muzi slept with that guy. His face turned purple like a bruised eggplant. He clenches his teeth and grabs Yin by the collar. Muzi interrupts and immediately slaps the senior, telling him that only she has the right to be her man, and instructs him to get out of her sight. Leaving him injured, she takes Ying with her. Later on, Ying is seen using his old-fashioned phone, which annoys Muzi. He cannot use certain apps on that phone. However, he thinks the phone is fine because it's enough to send messages. She becomes angry and throws a new phone at him, stating that she will be contacting him via WeChat. The phone flew at him like a guided missile. She instructs him to reply as soon as he gets her message. He gets teary, seeing the phone as a gift of affection, and is incredibly happy. He tells Muzi that a question has been bothering him all this time. She said that weaklings can only hide themselves from being killed by strong practitioners. He asks her if she is also a practitioner, and if so, why she didn't kill him. She tells him the honest truth that she didn't kill him because he absorbed a large portion of her spirit energy. If she were to kill him, her spirit energy would also disappear. Also, this spirit energy can only be transferred by a unique method of her family, otherwise she would not have asked him to cultivate with her. With that said, she is about to leave when he stops her and whispers in her ear, asking if they can cultivate tonight. She is surprised to hear him and asks if he is serious. Seeing her strange expression, he decides to leave, but Muzi holds his hand gently and takes him with her. She tells him to start the process by holding hands. Although Muzi described how cruel the cultivation world is, he somehow feels a sense of warmth from being with her. The scene changes to Ru Yui, who is present on a rooftop and crushes a human body. There is blood on her face, and she finds the taste of the blood to be very good. Ru Yi arrives at the location where the spirit energy first appeared. Based on the energy, she believes the person is a man and begins searching for him. She is confident she can find him no matter where he is hiding because she plans to use a method that all men will fall for, a WeChat booty call. She decides to post pictures of herself doing a seductive dance, hoping men will show up to date her. She is sure all the men will kneel before her skirt, but a man walking by corrects her, pointing out that she is not wearing a skirt but rather hot pants. She immediately punches him in the face. His nose made a sound like a soda can being crushed. Later, she sits with a man on a bench to see if he has spirit energy. The first man she meets is full of sexual intentions, which makes her lose her temper. After beating him, she meets with others but finds no one with spirit energy. She has dated almost every male student at the college, but no one has shown up yet. She wonders if the person she is looking for is gay since he wasn't attracted to her. It seems her booty call had turned into a ghost call. It seems she will have to change the direction of her booty call. Later that night, Ying receives a message from Muzi asking to meet on the rooftop. While he is on his phone, he hears his roommate laugh suddenly while on his computer because a cute boy has messaged him for a meetup. The roommate gets up and leaves for the park. Ying is confused as it seems his roommate has been enchanted by someone. He wonders if his roommate has been cursed. He knows that recently kidney theft during one-night stands has become a trend, so he immediately follows him. The roommate is acting as if he has been hypnotized. When he reaches Ru Yu, she detects that he has no spirit energy. The man tries to pursue her, but she punches him hard. Ying saves the man, who is named Master Li, from falling by using his powers. Master Li finds Ying very attractive and tries to keep him from leaving. Suddenly, Ru Yu removes her dancing seduction from Master Li, which brings him back to normal. After returning to his original state, he questions Ying for hugging him. Ying points back at Ru Yui, but is surprised to see she is no longer there. Ru Yu has found the real person with spirit energy. Master Li misunderstands him and tells him to be direct if he has any intentions. Ying becomes too nervous and immediately runs away. He believes it is all his fault because he is so handsome that even old Master Li has fallen for him. He still needs to get to the rooftop. As he is running, something suddenly hits him in the back. Ying falls to the ground and sees Ru Yu, who uses her dancing seduction on him. Ying cannot control himself and falls into the trap. He goes to the rooftop where Ru Yu is already waiting. He constantly repeats that he likes Miss Yu so much. Upon hearing him, she stretches out her arm and opens spirit restrictions, which can prevent their spirit energy and spiritual sense from being detected, so they won't be found by outside cultivators. He kneels and asks her to accept his proposal by giving her the roast beef he baked on his way. He thinks he should feed her himself. After he eats a piece, he makes a pout which she finds too disgusting, so she hits him. After being beaten, he regains consciousness and doesn't recognize her. He asks her who she is and why he is on the rooftop. Ru Yu laughs and lets him know he just proposed to her with a sweet tongue. He is shocked to hear this because he knows Muzi will kill him if she ever finds out. Ru Yui takes out a sword to kill him, and he is 100% sure she is a cultivator, just as he suspected. He realizes he needs to escape immediately because Muzi was right that cultivators kill new cultivators. However, Ru Yui tells him not to make meaningless mindless resistance. He tricks her and immediately flies away, leaving her behind. Just as he feels relieved that he has escaped, Ru Yue grabs him by his pants and tries to take him with her. She then discovers she is only holding his pants, not him. She sees him standing on the roof, but before she can attack him, Muzi arrives to save him. Ru Yue sees Muzi's overwhelming powers. Muzi sees him standing without his pants and thinks that he is high, but he assures her he will explain later. He immediately puts on his pants. Ru Yue laughs to see a girl saving her man. She informs Muzi that her man proposed to her just moments before because she is more attractive. She instructs Ying to kneel down. Muzi is enraged and decides to deal with him after she takes out Ru Yue. An extraordinary event unfolds for Ying, the new security guard. He is kneeling on a keyboard as a punishment, a surprising outcome of a catfight between two beautiful women. When he mentions the word catfight, they both grab his jaw and hit him. He's sure his face will be permanently stuck in a frown now. After he is taken care of, Muzi stands in front of Ru Yue and speaks to Ying using telepathy. Ru Yue senses that one of them is in the middle stage of chi condensation and the other is in the early stage of foundation establishment. She is enraged, wondering how they dare to release spiritual energy in public with such low-level cultivation. It's like they're trying to whisper but shouting at the top of their lungs, she thinks. Muzi asks Ying telepathically if he remembers what she said during their first training. He remembers her lecture on the different levels of cultivation and recalls in detail her words about the early stages. He was told he could be killed by a higher level cultivator unless he had a special weapon to bridge the gap. Still, he could be lucky enough to survive. Ru Yue realizes they are using mental telepathy and, without wasting a second, rushes to attack them. Muzi sighs, realizing Ru Yue is in the late stage of foundation establishment and cannot be defeated. Even if they work together, they begin to fight, and Muzi manages to land a brutal attack on Ru Yue. She tells Ying to leave immediately. As he runs away, Ru Yue, determined to kill Muzi, is impressed that Muzi had time to whisper a final word to him while facing death. Ru Yue hits Muzi, grabs her by the neck, lifts her into the air, and then throws her to the ground. Ru Yue continues to attack Muzi, who is holding back using her powers but knows she cannot hold on for much longer. Meanwhile, Ying is praying for Muzi to return quickly because they have not even started cultivating together. As he huffs and pants, he wonders if Muzi can survive, given the significant difference in their skill levels. The scene shifts to Ru Yue's master, who has taken care of two humans and sucked their blood. The humans look like skeletons. The master has decided to taste Muzi's fresh blood after she finishes her mission because the breakthrough to the late stage of core formation is near. Looking at the moon, he laughs loudly. Meanwhile, a wounded Muzi is still defending herself by blocking Ru Yue's attacks, but the difference in their skills is too great, and she can't hold on any longer. She is thrown far away, injured. Ru Yue mocks her for fighting with such low cultivation and laughs at Ying for running away and leaving her alone. Ru Yue is about to deliver a final blow when Ying returns and is killed while saving Muzi. Drops of his blood fall on her face. When she sees him in this terrible state, she begins to cry. He pokes her with his bloody finger, and hugging her, he slowly dies. Muzi remembers her mother telling her as a child to take care of the man she would marry in the future. Her mother believed that man must be the first to stand up and protect her when someone is bullying her. Muzi is glad she met Ying. Ru Yue kicks Ying's body and throws it away. Muzi rushes to him and begs him not to die. She feels helpless. Ru Yue kicks her too, intending to kill her along with Ying. Ying opens his eyes and finds himself floating in the sky. He wonders if this is that world. He sees a handsome man with long gray hair. The man tells Ying that he came to this world by mistake because he must be in a life or death situation. Ying is confused about who he is. The man tells him that he is Li Xuanzi. He believes meeting here by accident is fate. He pulls out a sword and swings it. As he swings the sword, a shell breaks. Ying recognizes the weapon in his hand as Dark Sky. Li Xuanzi is surprised that Ying recognized his sword. He realizes that Ying's spirit energy originated from the same source as his, which means Ying does not have Li clan blood. Therefore, he must be the cultivation partner of one of his descendants. Ying remembers Muzi mentioning this before about her ancestor, so he decides to say Muzi's name. After hearing that Ying is Muzi's husband, he smiles, as it is now certain that Ying is the cultivation partner of his descendant, and it is fate that they met here. He decides to give him a special gift with his cultivation. He points his middle finger upwards. Ying realizes he is indeed her ancestor because his way of expressing the number 1 is also special. He gives Ying a chain of 3 beads called the Hun Tian beads, which he obtained by chance many hundreds of years ago. He left something special inside the beads that can help Ying. As he is running out of spirit energy, he can only deal with Ying's current danger. He instructs Ying to remember that once he goes outside, he will only last for 1 minute. With that said, Li Xuanzi leaves, telling him that he will get his power back once he leaves this place. Ying has no idea how to use the beads because Li Xuanzi didn't tell him how. Muzi is crying when suddenly a beam of light hits the ground. Ru Yue goes to kill Muzi, but she suddenly gets knocked away by the intense light. She is shocked, by which she sees. Ru Yue is shocked by the rapidly growing spirit power and has no idea what it is. She realizes she cannot fight him at her current level and wonders if this person's power is even greater than her master's. She tries to attack him using her fire power, but with a single touch of his finger, her power vanishes and her weapon breaks. She falls to the ground, unable to process that he destroyed her magic weapon with just one word. Blood leaks from her mouth, and she has no hope of winning against him. He approaches Ru Yue, who decides to jump from the building and die on her own terms. As soon as she jumps, Ying grabs her and saves her from falling. She doesn't understand why he saved her, but with a smile on his face, he asks her why she chose to die after only losing one fight. He takes her to the rooftop. Ru Yue pulls away from him and starts yelling, telling him he knows nothing. She does not understand how a weak person like him could know about the world's cruelty. Muzi tells Ru Yue not to worry, saying everyone has their own secrets. Muzi then pulls Ying's ear and asks him about the power he used just a moment ago. He thinks for a while and then tells her it was just a dream in which he wanted to look cool for once. Before he can say anything else, she punches him hard on the head. Grabbing about the collar, she drags him away, but Ying wants to rest. Muzi tells him to get a room, which surprises him. Later, they are in a room, and she asks him about the sudden increase in his spirit power. He does not want to tell the truth, so he lies, saying he was praying to God in his mind, and suddenly, God appeared. She realizes that his absorption of her spirit power is also a mystery. She clenches her hands and moves toward him to take special measures. He starts yelling, but Muzi ties him in handcuffs and sits on top of them. She is going to use the Li family's co-cultivation method. He tries to struggle, but she's as firm as a rock. She kisses him on his lips. The Li family's co-cultivation method can reconcile their yin and yang, allowing their spirit power to cycle through their bodies. After that, they can proceed. The scene looks familiar to Ying. After their spirit powers fuse, in the light of the setting sun, everything is exposed to each other without hiding. He can see memories hidden deep within her. He opens his eyes and finds himself in a barren land. He has no idea where Muzi is. As he looks around, he finds a lock. As soon as he goes near the lock and touches it, a bright light surrounds the place, turning everything black and white. At that moment, Muzi comes there and starts crying. He looks at her, and suddenly a black hole forms into which they both fall. Muzi is traveling through the sea of Ying Shun's consciousness and just needs to get a little closer to detect it with their spirit energy, which is from the same origin. As she gets closer, she sees a large spear of light and cannot go any closer to it. She learns it is a magic weapon and that it is alive. The scene shifts to Muzi's blurry vision. As she opens her eyes, she finds people lying on the ground with blood dripping. She cannot control her tears. Suddenly, she senses someone's presence behind her. She realizes they have already resonated, and the person slashes her. The whole area is on fire, and everyone is inside the flames. Suddenly, Ying regains consciousness and begins looking for Muzi. He sees people burning. Upon hearing a voice, he rushes to save Muzi. He sees a man on the rooftop holding a weapon. A woman is pleading with him. The man asks about the black sky, and then he jumps to the ground and kills the woman with his sword. Coming back to the present time, he learns about Muzi's sad and painful past. He hugs her tightly and decides to protect her forever. Later, as he is getting dressed, Muzi tells him that there are only 34 descendants left in the modern cultivation world. All the others were killed by the man that night just for their family treasure, the black sky. She takes out the black sky. She believes that as long as it is in her hand, she will meet him someday and get revenge for her family members. He asks her about that man's cultivation level. She tells him that he has reached the early stage of nascent soul, which is the highest cultivation level. The patriarch and 6 elders were at the level of independent soul, but they still failed to survive a single hit from that man. She knows that if they were to meet him now, they would die. He goes near her and tries to comfort her. He assures her of his help because they are a couple who use co-cultivation. She gets emotional after hearing him and immediately kisses him on the cheek as a reward for protecting her today. He feels the kiss deeply and wants time to freeze in that moment. Muzi tells him that she did not see the secret of his consciousness, but felt a familiar warmth that she had not felt in a long time. She then wants to sleep and asks him to leave. Ying goes out on patrol. While patrolling, he sings a song about loneliness. Seeing the moon, he questions himself, wondering if his fate is to go back to school alone. He puts his hands in his pocket to take out the Huntian beads, but realizes they are not there. He starts to panic, thinking about how he can survive in the modern cultivation world without them. Later, he goes back to his room, where Master Li is angry with him for having his fiancée in his room at this hour. He sees Ru Ye on the bed in a seductive outfit, which causes his nose to bleed. His nose started dripping blood like a faucet. He is shocked to see her and asks why she is there. Ru Ye has been waiting for him for a long time. He sits on his bed, and although he remembers her, he has no idea why she came to him. She makes an innocent face and says she needs a favor from him. He tells her she doesn't need to be dressed like that. She says she has nowhere else to go and asks to sleep in his bed. His face turned as pale as a ghost. He starts to think about where he will sleep if Ru Yue sleeps on his bed. Master Li grabs him and says to sleep with him. Master Li is a man, so Ying almost vomits at the suggestion. He refuses to sleep with Master Li and decides to sleep on the floor instead. The next day, a long line of boys is proposing to Ru Ye. One by one, they ask her on a date. She sighs because this is the effect of her dancing seduction. Some of them even start crying when she rejects them. At that moment, a young master arrives, showing off his car. His butler says Muzi has come out of the school. She is surprised to see Ru Yu there. The young master asks her on a date. She thinks for a moment and then says that if he can protect and care for her for the rest of his life, he might be qualified to be her man. She points at Ruyue and tells him to date that lustful girl instead of her. Ruyue also gives the same condition for dating a man and points at Ying because she only wants him. Ying is already thinking about how he will explain all of this to Muzi. Muzi goes to Ying because she wants to watch a movie with him. Immediately, Ruyue also rushes toward him because she wants to watch a movie with him too. Muzi gets angry and curses at her for trying to snatch her man. Ruyue decides to make Ying her man and is determined to always be with him. Every guy there became as green as a monster with envy. The butler tells his young master that everyone has become so disappointed. The young master also spits blood. The butler asks if the young master is okay. He is so enraged because Ying has stolen his woman again. Later on, Ying is sitting in the middle of both women watching a movie. They compete with each other for his attention. They glare at each other, their eyes full of rage. Ruyue kisses Ying on the cheek. Muzi decides she will not lose, so she also leans in to kiss him. The clever and confused Ying slips, and they end up kissing each other. As soon as they open their eyes, they are embarrassed to realize they kissed each other. The audience, after witnessing the live kiss, thinks the movie should get an Oscar. After the movie is over, when they go outside, they find that it's raining. Both girls pull at his shirt to use it as a cover from the rain, but they end up tearing it. Ying falls to the ground. They rush to ask if he is okay. The next day, Ying brings a gift from Muzi to clear up any misunderstanding about his relationship with Ruyue. He sees young Master Zhao along with other boys standing at the entrance, ready to teach him a lesson for stealing his woman. The butler tells young Master Zhao that he is helping get revenge for all the boys in the entire school. Although young Master Zhao has not helped others for revenge, he does not want his name to be written upside down. Young Master Zhao orders the boys to break Ying's arms and legs. They take out their bats to hit him because he has offended someone. He tries to reason with them, but seeing that they have made up their minds, he immediately runs away. When Ruyue sees him in trouble, she runs to help him. She beats up the guys, and Muzi also joins in to get revenge for her man being hit. They both pick up Ying, who is lying on the ground, injured. Meanwhile, young Master Zhao spits blood again, seeing two girls protecting Ying. He starts crying like a baby. He is upset that now he has to write his name upside down. However, the butler tries to comfort him by saying that his name is still the same, even if he writes it upside down. Ying, instead of worrying about himself, first checks if the gift he brought for Muzi is okay. He is relieved that it is not broken and gives it to Muzi. As soon as Muzi opens the box, she sees that it contains 2 chickens. Seeing her blank expression even after seeing the gifts, he worries that she doesn't like them. He explains that it is his first time buying a gift for a girl, so he had no idea if she would like it or not. He wonders if Muzi dislikes the gift he gave her and asks if he should exchange it. Seeing them together, Ruyue gets teary-eyed and leaves the scene. Ruyue's master is watching over her. He hopes that Ruyue doesn't disappoint him. Ying is walking behind Muzi, feeling bad for not having given her a present for a long time. They happen to see Ruyue walking alone, and he feels that she looks just as lonely as he once did. He asks Muzi for the gift he brought her so he can give it to Ruyue. Muzi happily gives him the gift and tells him to go ahead. He was as shocked as a fish out of water. He runs after Ruyue and asks her to be his friend, reminding her of the saying that friendship grows from struggle. She pushes his hand away and gets angry, telling him that if his power level hadn't increased that day, she would have killed both of them. However, she got close to him because he has a powerful energy and can protect her. He promises to always protect her. She is still upset and asks if Muzi sent him to provoke her. He tells her that she has misunderstood Muzi because he has been in Muzi's spiritual world. He found that she is carrying the burden of her family's death, living alone in this cold and cruel world, and also feels lonely just like they do. Ruyue thought Muzi was an arrogant and boastful rich woman, but Ying explains that she is not what she seems because she only puts on a strong front for others. He assures her that he will always protect her from any danger because from now on, they are friends. She starts crying and runs away without hearing another word from him. Muzi stops Ying from comforting her, saying she will get jealous otherwise. The scene shifts tonight inside the school building, where 2 students are secretly making out. They suddenly see Ruyue's master and become scared. The master thinks they're getting in the way of his cultivation. He grabs them by their necks and kills them. He did not expect the breakthrough of his fiend art to come so quickly. The fiend art is a forbidden or evil method of cultivation. He believes the fruit named Ruyue, which he has been raising for many years, is finally ripe. Ruyue goes to her master knowing she must find a way out or her master will kill her. The master comes there with the bodies of the 2 students. He asks her if she has completed the mission he gave her. She apologizes to her master for failing and letting him down. When the master asks why, she tells him about the man's power and how she could not defeat him. He shows her the bodies, saying that by absorbing their blood, he has reached another breakthrough point, and in 10 days, he can kill those 2 cultivators. As long as he absorbs their blood, he is confident he can reach the late stage of core formation. He orders Ruyue to stall them during this time and not to let them know about his existence. Ruyue has no choice but to agree. The master consumes the student's body bodies. Ru Yue then grows her wings and flies away, constantly thinking about her master. She knows that if he truly completes this fiend arc, not only will they be killed, but she will be too. Meanwhile, Ying is searching for Ru Yue in the forest. Ru Yue appears in a nightgown. Ying is confused as to why she called him out in the middle of the night and is wearing such a dress. She unbuttons her shirt. He closes his eyes so he won't see her body. She goes near him, but he refuses to betray Muzi at any cost. He was as loyal as a knight. She takes out her sword, believing that in this false world, the truth does not exist. She starts swinging her sword, and Ying dodges every attack. She kicks him, questioning why he would say he would protect her when he cannot even protect himself. She gets closer, telling him to use his real spirit energy now, or she will kill him. He still does nothing in return because he does not want to fight his friend. She stabs her sword into his body, but is shocked that he did not use his spirit energy. She hugs him and starts crying, asking if he wants to die again. He pats her head, telling her that he didn't use his spirit energy because it is meant for protecting her. At that moment, he sees Muzi standing there and tells her that the situation is now settled. Muzi tells him to be grateful because he dared to cheat on his lover. Muzi's eyes flash like lightning. Ru Yue explains to them that her master will kill them even if she doesn't. He asks Ru Yue to help them, but she is surprised and wonders if he is not afraid that she might kill him again. She sees that they both have confidence in her. She informs them that her master felt the release of their spirit energy because he exposed himself. He is surprised to learn that her master sent her here to test their power through fighting. Muzi explains that if they had been killed by Ru Yue, it would have been their own fault. However, if Ru Yue had been killed by them, he could have continued his plan in secret. Now that they are all alive, Ru Yue cannot go back to her master's place. Ru Yue did not expect the school's beautiful queen to have an appearance and IQ that are not reversed. Ying realizes that Ru Yue's master is a very strong person. Not only that, but she also tells them that her master will soon reach the middle stage of core formation. After that, he will surely kill them, which means they are all doomed. Meanwhile, Ru Yue's master's cultivation level is increasing so fast. Now they just need the blood of those two cultivators, which will save him 10 years of cultivation. He is very happy that the middle stage of core formation is within his reach. Under the gloomy night, they are discussing how Ru Yu's master is their main problem. Ying asks Ru Yu if she is willing to go against her master, even though it violates the moral code. In the modern cultivation world, where people are scheming against each other, Muzi tells her that her relationship with her teacher does not truly exist. Ru Yui stands there, upset, and tells them her backstory. A long time ago, she lived in a small village with her parents. She was very happy with her mother and father, who took great care of her. When she goes outside, she hears other kids making fun of her and calling her a strange monster. She listens to those hurtful words but still tries to be patient. The kids throw stones at her, at which point she loses her patience and beats them up. The boys run away, leaving her alone. Later, she goes inside a cave to meet her monster friend. She applies ointment to her back, which is injured, and sees that it is healing quickly. She gives her monster friend some medicine, remembering the time she first found her in the forest, believing she was already dead. She gives her the lunchbox that her parents made for her. She hopes that her monster friend can cultivate into a human form after recovering from her injuries. She loves her monster friend very much and, at that time, believed they would be friends forever. The scene shifts to the village, where a man is happy because his pig has given birth, and one of them is a different color. A fortune teller is introduced in the village. Everyone is gathered around him. The fortune teller tells the villagers to ask questions if they want. The fortune teller stops Ru Ye, but she does not stop and leaves. As she walks with her head down, all the villagers know that the fortune teller made a correct prediction about her because she always has a long face and doesn't have a single friend. She hears the fortune teller's voice telling her to stay away from her monster friend, or tonight she will lose everything she has. At night, she goes to the monster friend again to give her food, as she does not believe the fortune teller. As soon as she reaches the cave, she sees a little snake and runs away as fast as she can. She sees her village being destroyed by the hands of her monster friend. As soon as Ru Yue goes inside the village, she starts looking for her parents. Soon, she finds her parents lying there, killed. She cries, heartbroken, and hears the fortune teller, who is there and has failed even though they managed to wound the snake spirit together. She runs to the fortune teller, who dies while telling her that the snake spirit escaped into the forest. She cries and considers everything her fault. Holding a stick, she goes to kill the snake spirit. As soon as she reaches the outside of the cave, she sees the master, who asks her why she's trying to throw her life away. She yells at him and tells him that the snake spirit betrayed her and killed everyone, so she has come for revenge. The master regrets coming late as he could not stop the snake spirit from slaughtering her village. He believes that since she is the village's only survivor, she must not die. She runs to the cave, but the master does not step aside. He tells her that during the night of the full moon, snake spirits become dangerous, so she cannot defeat her no matter what. He gives her a special weapon called leaf fire, with which she can kill the snake spirit. Ru Ye goes into the forest to find the snake spirit and kill her, and she finds her already lying on the ground with blood on her face. She points her dagger at the snake spirit, who leaps toward her. Without hesitation, she stabs the dagger into the snake spirit, but she is shocked to see that the snake spirit only leaped at her to put medicine on her wound. She calls her friend and dies in her lap. Ru Yue cries abruptly as she has killed her own snake spirit friend. After coming out of the village, she sees the master flying in the sky. She starts hitting her head on the ground and begs him to save her villagers, as he seems immortal. He tells her that life, death, and reincarnation are all set by the laws laws of the heavens. Resurrecting the dead is a violation of the rules of the heavens, and he believes he can do it. She cries because she has lost everything. The master asks her to be his student and join him on the path of cultivation, in which her heart will no longer feel pain. The little girl does not understand anything, so he explains that cultivators have no feelings, which means they will never feel pain. Ru becomes the master's disciple, and after that, she follows her master on the cultivation path. But one day, while training with her master, she finds that he is using some kind of bloodthirsty fiend art to improve his cultivation level. Now, his gaze toward her is also different from before, like a predator eyeing its prey. In short, the type of fiend art he uses can take normal people's blood to expand his cultivation level. Consuming cultivator's blood, however, can make him break through his cultivation level. As a result, cultivator's blood is like a tonic for him to train his fiend art. This means that if he kills them and consumes their blood, he will reach the late stage of core formation. They realize they cannot defeat him even with artificial weapons. Ying is scared but asks Ru to explain how scary he is. Ru tells them that if they wait too long, her master will finish his fiend art and forcefully take their spirit energy. Ying gets scared and grabs Muzi's hand, asking her to run away with him to a faraway place. Muzi is also ready to withdraw from society and prepare for their co-cultivation if they run far away. Ru becomes angry, asking them if they think her master cannot find them. Muzi also knows that it's very difficult to escape from her master. Ying asks Muzi to give him all of her spirit energy, thinking that maybe he can fight him that way. Even if he dies, he would rather exchange his life for her happiness. Muzi and Ying have a romantic moment. He asks her if they can co-cultivate now. Ru punches him, telling him that the only way to leave this cultivation world is death. Ying is confused about how they can accept such a life and death struggle. Ru tells him there is still a chance if they work together. Ru cannot rebel against her master because he has been desiring her spirit energy for a long time, and her instincts tell her that her death will come soon. She begs him because she cannot resign herself to death. As long as they work together, they still have a chance to live. Muzi suggests to Ying not to accept her request because they are not sure if it is a trap. Ru tells him that her master's aptitude is quite bad. He finally reached core formation after many years of taking other practitioners' blood. If she maintains this speed, she will die at his hands before she reaches core formation. However, because the master's fiend art is not yet complete, maybe they can make it if they work together. If not, they can only pray for a miracle. She decides to take advantage of striking him first while his guard is down. The master's fiend art has a fatal weakness, and if they lure him into their trap, there may be a chance to beat him. Sometime later, they go into a room that has a familiar smell. Ying sees Muzi and asks her if they are finally getting to that point. Muzi punches him and tells him not to even think about it. She looks at him with eyes as cold as ice. She is angry because he is trying to help Ru like a hero again. Ying gives a lame excuse that he is helping her because his father named him Ying Shung, which means a hero. Muzi takes a deep breath but still understands his excuse. Since they have decided to fight, she thinks they need to increase their chances of winning. He becomes very happy to hear this. Getting to the main topic, she tells him that the last time they co-cultivated, she saw a white light ball in his consciousness. She also felt that the energy of that light ball is the same as with her family's, and it is not the same spirit energy that he absorbed from her. In fact, it is far greater than any other she has seen so far. In short, she informs him that if he successfully uses this energy, they may be able to defeat that old man. He has no idea how to release it, so she tells him that this energy might be similar to an artificial or spirit weapon. She tells him he will need to use his blood to release it and form a contract with this power. However, he has to be careful because powerful weapons usually contain spirits and they have their own consciousness. This gives the weapon extraordinary power, but it is a little dangerous to release a weapon's spirit, and there is a chance that he might be taken over by the spirit. He is scared stiff. She makes it clear that it is totally up to him whether he wants to release the spirit or not. Ying thinks about it and realizes that releasing the spirit is full of risk and chance. He makes up his mind to do it. Seeing his firm determination, she cuts his hand. An intense light is released from his hand. Although he does not know what will happen, he cannot back down now. Within the intense light, the weapon spirit comes out. It is a girl who calls Ying her master and introduces herself as a spirit from a unique treasure. She was summoned by the master's blood using a blood agreement method. She asks him what she can do for him, and he is still in awe. Muzi feels that her cultivation level is very high. However, the spirit girl informs them that her cultivation level is high, but if he wants to unleash her full power, he will need to be at the ascended soul level. With the master's current level, he can only keep her out for a short time. Suddenly, time is up, and she disappears. Muzi realizes that his current cultivation level is not even enough to use 1% of her true strength. He thinks the same thing. With a gleam in his eyes, he tells her that he thinks co-cultivation is more reliable. She punches him and tells him to go to sleep on the bed without thinking about other things. Later, when Muzi is sleeping, Ying goes to the toilet with a knife. He thinks that there may be other uses for the spirit girl, so he cuts his palm to make the spirit come out, but she does not, which shocks him. The next morning, he remembers what Ru said about their alliance needing to be under her master's radar. They have already made a plan that while his fiend art is incomplete, they will leave some trails of their escape on purpose and then lure him into his life Yang flame array and kill him together. On his way, he runs into young Master Zhao, who asks him to give Muzi back and he will let him live. He says he wants to have her body if he cannot win her heart. Young Master Zhao is with two men whom he orders to fight Ying. They rush at Ying, but as soon as they try to hit him, both girls block them. As soon as Muzi and Ruyet take out their weapons, the two men become happy to see dark sky and a leaf fire, which proves that they are weapon hunters. As they attack the weapon hunters, the hunters use some magic that restrains them from using their powers. Young Master Zhao is very happy to see this and decides to take both of them tonight, but Ying stops him from hurting them in his presence. The weapon hunters go after Ying. He tries to dodge their attack but fails and falls to the ground. The weapon hunters suggest that Ruyet and Muzi hand over their weapons so they can spare Ying's life. Ying tells Muzi not to hand over Dark Sky. The weapon hunters become angry and hit Ying, but suddenly a blast of intense light occurs. They see the weapon spirit, who has come to protect Ying. Ying gives her the next order to save Ruyet and Muzi. Both weapon hunters rush at the weapon spirit to kill her, but she dodges their attack and frees Ruyet and Muzi. As soon as the weapon hunters see them, they try to run away. Ruyet and Muzi stop them from running. The spirit hunters beg them for forgiveness because they failed to recognize them. Muzi gives them 10 seconds to get out of her sight. After Ruyet and Muzi take care of the spirit hunters, young Master Zhao also runs away as he is afraid of them. Muzi asks Ying to explain what he meant by bondage binding play. The weapon spirit realizes that he is going to have a hard time now. Muzi gets angry at him, thinking he believes she has a hell in his heart. They both run after Ying. Ruyue's master is watching everything and believes she has done a good job. He has planned to make them sacrificial offerings for him to reach the late stage of core formation in a few days. After seeing Ying's maidservant, young Master Zhao asks his butler to buy him a dozen. The butler immediately orders maidservants for the young master. Ying is sitting with young Master Zhao and is getting a massage on his shoulders from his weapon spirit, Ling Air. Meanwhile, Ruyue and Muzi arrive. Muzi is angry to see Ying. She immediately makes it clear to young Master Zhao that there is no relationship between them and warns him not to bother Ying anymore, or she will not be gentle with him. Young Master Zhao runs away, wondering what is wrong with the world, as he is a Mr. Perfect, unexpectedly being refused by a woman. His ego was as bruised as a dropped peach. The butler runs after him. The weapon spirit asks Ying if he wants something to drink. Muzi and Ruyue look at Ying with rage. Later, Ruyue observes the spirit weapon carefully, asking her why she is here. She explains that she is a weapon spirit with a contract formed by her master's blood. They are surprised to learn that he has already trained the weapon spirit so well in just one night. Ruyue remembers him having a powerful cultivation weapon. Ying is confused because he was not allowed to tell anyone about their encounter, including Li Xuanzi's descendant. He had warned Ying that if he told anyone, he would not let him rest easy, and the matter of Ying mistaking him for a woman would also be held against him. Ying knows that the Han Tian beads are related to Xuanzi's ancestors, so he cannot reveal the secret. He lies to Ruyue, saying he does not know where she came from. Maybe it was from the heavens. She asks the weapon spirit her name, but learns that she does not have one. Ying feels awkward about this, and the three of them decide to give her a name. They all start thinking of a name. Ruyue suggests a name, but the weapon spirit does not like it. Ying gives her the name Ling, which means spirit. She agrees to the name, saying that if her master likes it, she has no problem. Muzi thinks that the spirit likes everything her master does. Ling thanks Ying for naming her. Ryu then leaves to prepare the Yang Flame Array because this battle is for all their lives, and she hopes they can survive. Muzi also thinks she needs to prepare and instructs Ying to find a way to escape in case his life is at stake. Ying realizes they all have no confidence in him. Ling believes they are right because he needs to improve his cultivation to prevent danger. Ling also tells him that he has a good cultivation level but lacks combat ability. Ying does not want to always hide behind women. Ling tells him to follow her. She creates an opening and takes Ying with her. Muzi is watching and hopes that Ling can teach him some way of escaping because she knows they have no chance of winning against the core formation monster. On the other hand, Ling takes Ying to the world inside the Hun Tian beads. He looks around, finding it hard to believe that there is so much space inside such a small ball. It was as if a whole house was stuffed into a marble. She tells him that there are countless miraculous weapon spirits and weapons in the cultivation world. She was originally a sentient weapon spirit created by her master using 10 unique treasures and placed in the cold realm with 10 years worth of pure spirit energy. He realizes that she must be very powerful. Ling does have a high cultivation level, but the amount of power that can be released depends on her master's cultivation level. So, she tells him that to unleash her full power, he must reach the early stage of Ascendant Soul. Ying thinks that there should be some way for her to eliminate the core formation monster just once. She thinks about it and realizes there is a way to eliminate him, but she might not be able to see him again. In other words, it would require offering herself as a sacrifice. If he commands her or does anything awkward to her, it will trigger a spontaneous detonation and cause hundreds of miles of barren land. Ying refuses to let her be used that way. Although he is still confused, she tells Ying that he has more powerful spirit energy than Muzi, but he is still weak. His strength is less than a key condensation level cultivator. She informs him that cultivator's strength comes from turning the essence of heaven and earth into spirit energy by cycling through the governor and conception vessels. She tells him that his spirit energy came from others, not from his own cultivation. Plus, he lacks the understanding of how to use spirit energy, which means he has spirit energy that he does not know how to use, and he cannot use his ability when he gets nervous in a battle. She has a solution for that. She goes near him and takes off his shirt. He becomes nervous because it is a gesture of co-cultivation. He wonders if she needs to co-cultivate cultivate to transfer spirit energy to him. Sweat starts pouring down his face. She informs him that awkward things trigger spontaneous detonation. Ying starts screaming and asks Ling if they are going to perish together like with the tortoise. Ling does not understand what he is saying or why he is behaving so strangely. His face was as red as a tomato. He is embarrassed to realize that he should not be thinking like that. Ling tells him to sit down and close his eyes so she can guide the spirit energy for him. After he sits down, Ling puts her hands on his stomach and begins doing something that makes him laugh because he feels itchy. She instructs him to endure a little, calm down, and feel the circling of the spirit energy. Ying closes his eyes and starts focusing, and a light begins flowing around him. She asks him how he feels. He has started to feel special. She informs him that his cultivation speed is fast, so he can use spirit energy skillfully with 5 to 10 years of cultivation. However, he knows the battle is coming soon, and he does not have that much time to cultivate. She thinks of another way. She decides to use her spirit energy to help her master circle the governor and conception vessels just as warriors open their governor and conception vessels. But sadly, the process is going to be very painful. He does not hesitate and allows her to start the process. She goes behind him and puts her hands on his back, and the energy starts flowing. He starts to feel pain because it is actually painful, but he thinks that compared to Muzi and Ruyu as sadness and shock, it is nothing. He does nothing. It does not give up and endures as much as he can. She is impressed that her master did not yell at all, even when he was in so much pain. The process is finally completed. Soon, he stands up when he suddenly senses some danger. After sensing something dangerous, Ying immediately uses his powers and succeeds. He is surprised that he actually did it. Ling tells Ying that he can use the transfer of spirit energy just as he did to use the low-level abilities he has already obtained. He is very happy to know this. Taking out his wings, he starts to fly. She congratulates him because he now knows how to use spirit energy. He then asks about the tree spirit. Ling also does not know the answer, even though she has been here for a long time. She just knows that there is a lot of spirit energy here, and the concentration is far beyond that of the outside world, like the concentration of spirit energy in ancient times. Ying starts thinking about why there is so little spirit energy today. It seems like something significant must have happened back then. He receives a call from Muzi, who needs him to come with her to prepare. Later, he goes to Muzi, who takes him to a shop for nighttime adult products. He is surprised to see this, but she clears up his misunderstanding, telling him it is just a covert cultivation shop. Ying's eyes went as wide as saucers. Ling asked them about the adult products. He tells her that they are magical items or treasures used by elder cultivators, which impresses her. Muzi goes inside. The landlady orders his assistant to entertain them. The assistant plays music to give them a sense of excitement. Muzi gets angry and shows them she is a cultivator by destroying an Apple computer. She shows them a golden Diamond Knight VIP card, which impresses them, and they take her to meet their boss. Muzi, being the owner of the golden diamond card, is allowed in. Muzi gives Ying a low-level spirit stone, which is the currency of the cultivation world. He is excited to see it. The salesgirl tries to lure him in. She takes him to see their magical treasures, which she says are fairly priced. The two of them go with her. She shows him a safeguard cloak that he can use to defend himself from a number of attacks. It costs 500 low-level spirit stones. Ying only has 50. Although she offers to sell it for 300, he decides to save the stones for Muzi. She tries to lure him again, promising to provide him with some chances to get high-value items. She tells him about Gamble Stone, a game played with jade and luck. She explains that when the original jade stones are dug up, they are covered with a weathered stone skin. They do not know the quality of the jade inside the stone, so those original stones are used for gambling. Guests can buy them at a discounted price, and it might lead them to sudden wealth. She offers him a bargain, which he readily accepts and tries. On the other hand, the shop's boss, named Maizi, who is the head of the Jingdu branch, thoroughly checks the card. It is a genuine VIP card for their shop. However, according to their records, the only card given in the last 100 years was to the cultivator Li family. Muzi asks him to give her the most valuable magical treasure in the shop. He agrees. Opening the door to the magical treasure room, he goes inside. Maizi knows that the magical treasure can be used for defense, even when struck by someone at a level lower than Nascent Soul, so he has no problem giving it to her. The head office has ordered all branch offices to be shut down in 3 days. All spirit stones and magical treasures need to be turned in. A branch's magical treasure is not that important, and the real important magical treasure is not any of the nominal ones. They are shutting the shops because they have been informed that a person is coming, and they seem to have something to do with the Li family. On the other hand, the salesgirl shows them the boxes that were sealed by their Nascent Soul Senior and are valuable in themselves. Ying tries to select one, but according to Ling, a simple Nascent Soul seal is nothing to her. She decides to pick the best magical treasure for him. Ying excitedly goes to pick one. Ling chooses a very ordinary-looking box. Ying thinks that maybe they hide good treasures in ordinary boxes. The salesgirl unseals the box. Ying gets a rusted dagger inside the box. She congratulates him on getting that rusted dagger, which has Soul of Dragon blood engraved on it. After they leave the shop, the shopkeeper informs her boss that she made a great profit before closing the door by selling a gambling box. Maizi asks her what was unsealed. She tells him it was just a dagger called the Soul of Dragon blood. Maizi is shocked because it was very valuable. He faints after hearing he suffered such a huge loss. He was as white as a sheet cheat. Ryu's master calls her and asks if she has finished her mission. She regretfully tells him she failed. He asks if they have a better cultivation base than hers or if she did not take the mission seriously. He knows she has already colluded with them and plans to kill him. Ryu gets tense but immediately says she would not dare to betray him. He laughs because he has been keeping an eye on everything, asking if she remembers the uncle cleaning up the school, which was him in disguise. She feels a chill run down her spine. She learns that he was secretly disguising himself. He did it because he finds it more convenient to consume students that way, and sometimes he learns of something unexpected like her betraying him. He attacks her. Ryu immediately dodges his attack. He decides to engage her in this chase game and finally reach a perfect end to their teacher and pupil relationship. On the other hand, Muzi is happy that Ying brought a dagger. Ling tells him it is a sealed spirit weapon with a real dragon soul inside. It is said that a master named Li Xuanzi killed a red dragon that was causing disasters and sealed its soul into this dagger, which makes it very valuable. Ling is very familiar with the dagger's history. Ying further learns from Ling that the one who killed the dragon was none other than Li Xuanzi. Ying becomes excited, thinking about what will happen after he releases the dragon to attack that old monster. The real dragon is a Yaowai beast, and most of them are hostile to humans. Ling is afraid, thinking it will only cause more trouble, and she also doesn't know how to release it. But besides this, the dagger is a magical treasure, so she believes it must have some special technique. Ying decides to put some spirit energy into it to see what happens. After he tests it, his body separates. Not even Ling can tell which is real, even with her cultivation base. Suddenly, he receives a message from Ryu that her master knows everything and wants to kill them, telling them to meet at the designated location. He immediately runs to Ryu to help her, even though it is extremely difficult. Muzi puts a necklace on Ying and asks him to promise her that no matter what happens, he will stay alive. The three of them fly through the air on their way to Ryu. On the other hand, Ryu is running to save herself from her old master. She knew that he had been planning to kill her for a long time. Her master realizes that her intelligence is enough to allow her to reach core formation, and if that happens, he won't be able to control her at all. Ryu hits him, but he blocks her attack. He refuses to lie anymore, now that things have gotten this far. He tells her that from the moment he saw her intelligence, she was a special creation he planned to raise for 16 years to help him reach the late stage of core formation. Meanwhile, Muzi and the others are thinking of a way to defeat the master because he is in core formation, and they cannot defeat him directly. Ying really hopes to win, but he has a bad feeling. He feels as heavy as a stone. On the contrary, Ryu is still defending herself from the master's attacks. The master laughs and suggests she give up, otherwise her struggle will only make him more excited. She decides to try her best to fight with them until the last moment. Maybe she will have the slightest chance. He goes after her to take her spirit energy, but Ying comes after him and hits him. The master sees that Ying has used the body separation technique, which is not an ordinary one. Ying decides to have everyone attack the master together. The two bodies of Ying attack the master along with Ryu and Muzi. The master creates a barrier around himself to protect himself from their attacks, but they continue attacking. The master is amused by their struggle, calls them silly ants, and concludes that they know nothing about the power of core formation. Ryu and Muzi throw an attack toward him, but he considers their skills insignificant. Ying knows that the core formation spirit energy is very powerful, but there is real dragon blood on the dagger, so he decides to take a gamble, hoping it will break the barrier. As the master leaps toward him to attack, Ying also goes to him and, using his dagger, breaks the master's barrier, which shocks him. The master's eyes popped out like they were on springs. The master is also slightly injured by the hit from that dagger. The master asks Ying about the dagger, and Ying tells him it's a dog-killing dagger for dogs like him. The master's face turned as dark as a storm cloud. The master grabs his throat and starts squeezing it, but Ying's body disappears. Ying starts hitting the master, who dodges the attacks, but for a moment, he almost falls for Ying's trick. Ying is using the dragon blood's features, and while they are impressive, the body separation cannot be maintained for long and will disappear in 2 hours. Also, no more than 2 bodies can be created. Ying comes up with a special technique to transfer his soul between the bodies. If he can move from body to body, he can avoid fatal injuries in times of danger. Ying decides to rely on the dagger's special ability to fight the monster. The master figures out that the body separation is a skill from the dagger. He knows that Ying is pretending to be relaxed so he can land the first hit and hurt him again. He uses his fiend dart on them, and the three of them struggle to even stand still. Their spirit energy is being sucked away by his fiend dart. He starts to drain their blood. Ryu wonders if this is the end. Immediately, Ying summons Ling, who starts taking on the master's attacks and tells him to leave if he doesn't want to die. She tells Ying and the others to go. The master tries hard to identify her cultivation base but can't. He doesn't know who she is but is sure there must be some limitation that keeps her from attacking him. Ling decides to show him the way if he wants to die, and using all her energy, she hits him. He is surprised to see that much energy coming his way, but suddenly her energy starts to decrease. Ling tells all of them to go away as she can deal with him. They are trapped and immediately need a strategy. The master starts hitting her and realizes that she may be a weapon spirit. Ru Yue and the others must escape until they can think of another plan. Ying knows that Ling has such a high cultivation base that she will have no problem stopping that monster, and meanwhile, they will have enough time to start the array. Instructing her to come back after taking care of the master, the three of them leave. Later, the spirit weapon comes back to them, but Ying has almost run out of spirit energy. Ru Yue's master finds them and laughs to see they have stopped running. He asks if they are going to make their last stand. He rushes toward them, but Ru Yue immediately activates the Yang Flame array to stop him. This traps the master, preventing him from coming near them. The three of them find their chance and start to attack the master, but he seems so powerful that their Yang Flame array does not even affect him. He realizes that Ru Ye secretly read his fiend art book and lets her know that all the weaknesses he wrote in his book are fake. Ru Ye realizes that if that is true, the record saying fiend art fears Yang things was his trap for her. This means that the Yang Flame array did not weaken him. Instead, it made him stronger. Her heart sank like a stone. He asks her how he could have hidden among people and eaten them without being discovered if his acting was not good. He wrote those few weaknesses in that book to trick her into using this array to improve the power of his fiend art. He is now ready to kill them and reach the late stage of core formation. They all start running away. The master goes after them, but Ling stops him from hurting her master. He grits his teeth to see the weapon spirit again. He is enraged to see her blocking his way, allowing them to escape. They keep running. The master runs because for many years he has wanted to tell her a secret about the truth of her village's slaughter. The clouds are thundering and the weather is bad, just like the situation. He tells her that 20 years ago, to get a snake spirit core, he tricked a snake spirit into going to a village called Shidi. He did not expect to find anything else. He saw kids making fun of Ru Yue for being a strange monster girl. He learned that she was a 6-year-old who had already reached the late stage of ki condensation. She had a body capable of cultivating since birth, which is a rare super spirit root, so he decides to get her and use her to remedy his terrible aptitude. He was the one who tricked her by disguising himself as a fortune teller, but because Ru Yue unexpectedly refused him, he massacred her entire village while disguised as the snake spirit. He used a magical grass that can make a Yaogui go crazy to make the snake spirit lose itself. Ru Yue thought the spirit had killed all those people but could not get revenge, so she asked for his help in killing the snake spirit. The cost was for her to follow him and cultivate under his teaching. Not only did he get her a nourishing super spirit root, but he also got the core of that snake spirit. Ru Yue cannot believe what she has heard. He mocks Ru Yue and asks her how it makes her feel. She falls to the ground and starts crying. Her tears flowed like a river. She cannot control her anger and is determined to kill him no matter what. Ru Yue goes to kill him alone, but Ying immediately chases her because it is too dangerous for her to fight alone. She is heading toward the master with all her strength without caring about anything. In the meantime, Ying throws a dagger toward the master. The master throws Ru Ye away from him. He is surprised that Ying hid the weapon behind Ru Ye and is as devious as he is. Ying knows that Ru Yue is emotionally impulsive, so she easily fell for his trap, but he is very overconfident and thinks everything is under his control, so he believes the master deserves to be hurt. The master warns him that he will be torn to pieces. Ying takes back his weapon with a single command. The master decides to show his real control art. On the other hand, young Master Zhao is having a drink on a plane. The plane starts shaking. He panics and asks his butler what is happening, wondering if someone is blocking the plane. The pilot goes to the door and is about to jump. Before he jumps, he informs them that he has lost control and the plane is about to crash. With that said, he escapes from the plane. The young master starts yelling about his missing parachute. The butler stops everyone from going first because the young master has to leave before anyone else. The clouds are thundering and Muzi happens to see them using a parachute. She enables her powers. The plane is moving toward the master, who is confident that he will smash into flesh and mud. Muzi can finally use part of the ability of her dark sky and has to rely on the power of the thunder from the punishment to kill him. The master is surprised to see her using that power and wonders if she has the rare thunder spirit root. He feels lucky that she is only at the foundation establishment level, or he would have to escape. He knows that if he can absorb just her, the thunder spirit root of foundation establishment, he will reach the late stage of core formation. Muzi is fighting the master's every attack. She feels so grateful to the master for helping her pass her heaven punishment. The master gathers his powers and throws his energy toward Muzi. Muzi fights back but is about to fall down when Ying immediately goes to her and grabs her hand. She closes her eyes. Ying screams, holding Muzi in his arms. He sees the charm that Muzi gave him. He tells Muzi to lend him her power so that he can kill the master. The master is still very confident in his victory when he suddenly sees his own blood splattering. His face was as shocked as a stone statue. The master, now completely enraged, unleashes his most powerful attack, a blood absorption technique. Everyone starts spitting blood as their very life essence is being drained. Ling covers them and tells him to flee. Ying knows that Ling's energy comes from him and that if his spirit energy is absorbed, Ling will be affected as well. He orders Ling to return to the Huntian beads. Ling obeys. Ying relies on his dagger and is determined not to let the master harm anyone. The master uses his mind control art to take the dagger from Ying and pierce his body with it. Ying's blood is burning as the real dragon blood on the knife knife can corrode blood. The master is ready to get his revenge on Ying for hurting his arm. As the master's powers reach their peak, everyone is losing their spirit energy. He decides to kill Muzi first since she was the one who hurt his arm. He pulls Muzi toward him, grabs her by the throat, and then throws her away. Ying leaps toward him. The master stops Ying from doing any more harm and begins absorbing his spirit energy as well. Ying is thrown far away. Ru Yue cries, knowing she couldn't get her revenge. Ying grabs the dagger, and with wings on his back, he throws the dagger toward the master. His energy is now stronger than before. The master is shocked to see Ying's power overwhelming him. His confidence was shattered like a glass pane. It is the soul of dragon blood. The master is stunned. At the same time, Ru Yue also rushes toward him to strike. The master fights with only one arm since his other arm is injured. His body starts to turn purple. Using his energy, he summons rocks which hit Ying, but Ying's overwhelming power shatters the wall of rocks. He directs his attack at the master, cutting through his body with a dagger. He sees the master stagger. The master screams and, before banishing, tells them that his fellow senior apprentice will surely get revenge. He leaves a voice curse on Ying and assures him that he will live in immeasurable fear. Ru Ye is overjoyed that her parents, neighbors, and the little snake have finally been avenged. After the master vanishes, Ying goes to Muzi, who is lying on the ground, and calls out to the elder. He knows that the elder's purpose is to get the Huntian beads. The elder appears, finding it incredible that Ying noticed him. When Muzi entered the psychonauts and contracted the Huntian beads, Ying felt that some other power was watching. Although he is not sure of its purpose, he worries that revealing its existence this early will bring destruction upon them. He is doing it now because he thinks only the elder can save Muzi. If Muzi dies, whether it brings good or bad, what is left would be meaningless. The elder never expected him to be so foolishly sentimental. He tells Ying that as long as cultivators have a little life left, there is still a way to save them. He asks Ying what reason he has to help him. Ying begs him to save Muzi and says he will accept anything he wants in return. Ying gives his Huntian beads to him, but the elder laughs and says that if he could take them, he would not need him. He tells Ying that the place he is in is different from his space and that he will make a 3-year covenant. He asks Ying to bring him the Huntian beads in 3 years. However, he cannot reveal the name of the place he is in, as saying the name is restricted by the highest rule of that place, so he must find the answers himself. The elder can save Muzi, but he can just as easily kill her if Ying does not fulfill the agreement in the given time. The elder leaves. Ying swears to himself that he will reach the place he lives in on time, no matter what. On the other hand, the young master is very upset because his new plane is ruined. The plane was worth 4 or 500 million yuan. To him, it was like losing a quarter in a couch. The young master thinks it is very cheap and asks the butler to buy new planes for him. He gets on the butler's shoulders and experiences the feeling of running in the wind. Suddenly, he falls to the ground. Meanwhile, Muzi has blindfolded Ying and is taking him with her. They go through the woods and reach a certain point. She tells him to take off his blindfold. As soon as he does, he sees a calm and peaceful place. She takes him to a place where she and her mother used to go for picnics. They both sit there, and she tells him that her mother taught her a lot about how to find a good husband. She gets closer to Ying, telling him that she has many ways to satisfy him in case he is not satisfied. He tries to assure her that he is very satisfied with her. However, she thinks she needs to do something because he seems dishonest. She asks him to have a wild fight with her. Ying blushes, wondering if she is serious. His cheeks turned as red as a cherry. Suddenly, he is shocked to see her take out her sword, as he did not expect that she wanted this kind of wild fight. Muzi hugs Ying, who promises her that he will not let her experience anything terrible. With a gentle smile on his face, he promises her that she will not be alone anymore and will not have to suffer alone. Muzi wants to do something in return. She goes near Ying and tells him that she wants to take back her first kiss from him. With that said, she kisses Ying.